This is literally how you can go from making 15K a month to 60.
That's insane. I never thought about it that way. It looks so achievable.
And you have so much potential because right now you're making 15K when your potential is 200K. So that's not even 10% of your potential. Like, that makes me excited. So in today's video, we're gonna break down Leo's tax consulting business. He's making around 15K USD right now per month. So I'm just gonna ask him a bunch of questions to find out the biggest bottlenecks in his business and how we can scale it. My name is Maher and I consult different businesses making over $100,000 per month every month, and I help them scale. So let's start. Leo, could you give us a business overview? So how much you make per month, profit margins?
Absolutely. Right now I make about 15K USD. A lot of that is profit, so it's 90% gross profit margin, which means the cost to actually fulfill the service is very low.
Right.
And then I would say around 65-70% profit margin total if you take out advertising expenses, some software and all of that stuff.
All
so
right.
70%, so maybe 10K profit, 11K profit.
Okay, I'll ask you about the advertising expenses later on. What's the goal? What do you want to achieve?
Goal 1 to 3 years. I think no clear money goal. We could say maybe 60, 70K a month, but the goal is to be able to run this with as minimum input from me as possible, to outsource as many things as possible. The only thing I really want to be doing is taking the maybe the consulting calls to actually build out the plan, and what we're going to do. This is what we're doing, and then the implementation will be done by someone else. That's my vision for the next 3 years.
Amazing goal. And this is also something I always like to ask. Why is that your goal? Because sometimes if it's good to know what the what is, but also if we have the why in itself, that in itself can help us make more and actually reach the goal. So what's your why?
So, we're really young, but it's something I have thought about before. My end goal, the end business I actually want to run is a football club. So my goal is to buy a football club, run it with my dad and my closest friends. And obviously to do that, we need money. I'm not in a rush to do it. I'm just happy, I get to experience life and, places like this. And that's kind of what I'm trying to optimize now for the next 2-3 years, making enough money online to be able to travel, treat my loved ones. And that's why I want to scale this business at this moment. But obviously to get the football club, we need a different level of income.
How long have you been running this business for?
Just over a year now.
Just over a year, and you're making 15K per month. That's amazing. Okay, who do you help?
Online entrepreneurs, non-American online entrepreneurs. Sorry, Scott.
Yeah.
And the idea is, do you have it there? How do you make money? The idea is there's a lot of online entrepreneurs now that work completely remotely. They're very young, very ambitious, very good at what they do, but they have no idea about taxes. So they're either doing one of two things. They're either still paying 40-45% back to the tax office in their home country, or even worse, they're just committing tax fraud and just ignoring the tax system completely, both of which will get them fucked in the long term, right? I come in and help them set up in a way so that can reduce their taxes completely legally.
And do they have to live in specific countries?
So the first question I start with when I talk to my clients is, where do you actually want to live? Because you wouldn't live in Cuba for 8 months just to not pay taxes, right? So it's like, for most countries, yes, you require relocation. You're not going to be able to live in the UK and just set up your business in Dubai and just live your life like in the same way. So yes, it does require relocation, but a lot of times these people already do live out in Thailand, Malaysia, South America. So
okay, so it's ideally people who've already moved out,
or are looking to move out. Yes,
or are looking to move out. All right, amazing. So how do you make money? What's your pricing? What's your packages? Do you have different ones?
So obviously, because tax can be so nuanced, everyone has a different situation and different things that need to happen. But let's say the main package is the solopreneur who owns his own company, who decides to, okay, now I want to set up in Thailand. My package is 6.6K USD, and I basically do everything so that they can pay 0% tax completely legally. So set up their company in the US most of the times. I then get them out of their old tax system, which is usually, the UK, Italy, Australia. And then I set them up in the new system, right? Which is probably Thailand or Malaysia, or whatever.
I have two questions about that. Is it a one-time fee or do you have any recurring fees?
So it's a yearly fee. The first year it's a bit more expensive, so this 6.6k is what I charge up front. Either I give a 10% discount for a PIF, or I do two payments within 30 days, so half now, half in 30 days. From the second year on is about 4.5k.
Okay, and then they pay
Just the maintenance, 4.5k.
Maintenance. Okay, yearly. All right, okay. And how much are your clients making?
How much are my clients making?
On average?
Usually, I'd say 15k as well, more or less.
15k. They're making almost 200k a year.
About.
All right. Okay, so this is something we will definitely look into. Who it is you're helping in nailing down these people and actually understanding their financial situation, but also how you can charge more. How you can charge more per year, setup fees, startup fees, or even monthly fees, or how we could increase the maintaining fee, or whatever you want to call it. All right, amount of clients, how many do you have right now?
Right now, I would
Just in total?
say 16 clients.
16 clients, okay. And how many are you onboarding per month?
Actually about 3.
About 3. All right. And how many, like how long does it take for you to actually onboard? If you would have just hypothetically, you can get as many clients as you would like, how many would you be able to take on in a new single month?
Probably 3, maybe 5, 3 to not make things too messy at the moment. So
okay.
yeah, it's what I think the demand is there. It's
even if you could like just press a button, you could get unlimited clients. You would still just get
I think
through.
I would find a way. I would find a way if we got to like maybe 6, 7 clients, but it's something, you know, I wouldn't take on more. I want to work towards being able to onboard a lot more people, you know, maybe those 15, 20 clients a month.
Because if the goal is 50 to 60k a month, then obviously if we just do the math, if you're only onboarding 3 a month, then you need to charge 20k per client, or you need to onboard more. Which one is it? You can do both. It's just 2 different strategies. Which one is more, which is your vision? Onboarding more people or onboarding fewer higher paying people?
Onboarding more people.
More people. Yes. Okay, so more of what you're already doing. All right, that's usually the easiest thing to do. Okay, and how do you market? How are you finding these people?
So, I'd say 80% of my clients are referrals at the moment.
Okay.
And the people who I've onboarded and who work with me in some way or form have been in contact with me. So it's either been in-person events, right, where I meet people and we get to know each other. It's either been just a pure referral. Hey, John, meet Leo. He did my taxes, blah, blah, blah. Or they came in contact with me in some way or form, maybe Instagram, a friend of a friend. So it's, I've found a lot of luck with in-person events, even, you know, joining a network, communities, and, you know, started like talking to them. No one completely cold went through my funnel and bought.
Okay, so there's one good thing about this. Like if you have 80% referrals, it means you're doing something good. So people are being happy with your service. They would happily refer you to their friends. That's a good sign. The other sign that that number is telling me is you don't have any marketing. You don't have actual
Very
inbound
basic.
marketing.
We post on Instagram. There is a VSL, but we don't really get leads through that VSL. No, I would say it's not working at the moment.
Okay. And when you mentioned the marketing expenses, are you running any paid stuff?
So I have a growth operator. I'd say pay him 2.5k a month, more or less. And he does, obviously he did the VSL, and he scripts, edits, and posts my videos, 1 reel a day. Sometimes even, you know, when we're in the same city, he comes to record. So I basically, you know, I brought back my time in the sense that he just scripts everything. I just have to say it and then send him the footage. He edits it, he posts it, he does everything. And it's helped grow my social media presence for sure on Instagram. But again, it all works together. So I don't want to I want to give them some credit in the sense that people who are referrals will still go and look through your page, is this guy legit and stuff, but like through the funnel, just literally going through the funnel and booking from there, no one completely cold has come in from there.
Okay, so are you posting one reel a day then?
Yes, that's correct.
How long have you been doing that for?
Almost 3 months now.
3 months,
Yeah.
so you've been posting like 90 reels.
Yeah, I'd say maybe 80 reels or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Skipping some days, taking Saturdays off. All right, interesting. We will definitely need to build you a funnel. That's probably one of the main things. You need a system to generate leads, book calls in. We could talk about paid stuff, but also organic stuff, right? And then, what would you say the problem is? What would you like, if you could just wave with a magic
I would make the service delivery more streamlined, in the sense that right now it's taking, my steps, like my process for delivering the service is like a three-step process, as I said. So like getting them out of their home country, getting them into the new country, and setting up the company for which to funnel their income, so it's free. And usually the first two are done pretty quickly, like the getting them out of the country and creating the company. But the getting them in the new system is what's taken me a long time. I'm still talking with like accountants from the local from the local teams, like in Thailand or in Malaysia or in Indonesia, to like have my partner, my contact, to get that side of things done. And it's not urgent. I pretty much have almost a year's time from the moment I sell to get this sorted. But obviously it's something that I don't want to sell like 100 people and then see that actually I can't really do this. Or maybe something I've found is setting up people in Indonesia instead of Thailand, for example. There's an extra cost and an extra complication that takes one, time, and two, like money, right? Like relatively more, like from that 90% gross margin, we go down to maybe 50 because of this extra expense that I need to do. So I'm still finding out certain things when expanding into different countries. So like if we look at Thailand only and setting up people in Thailand, we've got that down. And maybe you're going to tell me to niche down just to people in Thailand, to set people in Thailand because you've had the framework that it works. But obviously I have people coming to me and maybe someone doesn't want to live in Thailand, maybe they want to live in Bali, maybe they want to live in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. So it's never like the perfect solution. You can't offer a cookie cutter solution in tax. Or maybe it's a limiting belief, I don't know.
Okay. I don't know the tax laws myself, but obviously the first problem is we need to be able to onboard more people. Even if we have the best lead gen strategies, people booking calls, and you're just telling them to wait till next month. There's no point in doing that. So we need to solve, by the way, the questions are done now.
Love it.
So no more questions. We will actually get started with the solutions.
Amazing.
There are only 4 things in your business. Boom, 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 boom. Book, apt, so booking appointments, closing them, fulfillment, I probably spelled it wrong, and then systems. You don't have anything more, nothing less. Then obviously you could break this down into multiple things, scripts, whatever, framing, fulfillment, different parts. So you told me, for example, you have 3 different parts of the fulfillment. So right now it stands to me that you have a problem with your fulfillment each month. Not a problem if you're not delivering the results, but more of that it's taking you longer. Okay, so so if you would onboard a Thai client, you would actually be able to do it quicker, or how many would you be able to onboard if they were only Thai?
Yes, I would say within upwards of 20 at least.
Oh shit. Okay, so you could onboard a bunch of Thai clients, but you just need to figure out the other countries when you have other.
Yeah.
Okay. And how hard is it to figure these things out? Like if you would have to learn how to set it up in Bali, in Indonesia, or Malaysia, how hard is it to actually learn it? Like, how long time would that take you?
Well, that's what I'm learning. You know, I know the theory and how things work. Is just in practice. A lot of times, you know, in these countries that are still developing, the law says one thing, but in practice you go and talk to the accountants. They maybe not even know the law. They say, look, yeah, it's true, but in practice things work a different way. You know, so you get all in the grey area. It's what I'm learning, and you know, I guess the time to mass book appointments with, you know, Indonesian consultants. So realistically, if I decided next week I'm going to learn and I'm going to figure out how to do it, maybe I just book 100 calls with 100 Indonesian accountants and figure it out.
Okay, gotcha. All right. We will do two things then to fix the fulfillment. We'll actually do both. So we will focus on just Thai, because you can do that, and you already have the framework, you can focus on it, and a lot of people are moving to Thailand. A lot of people would love to live in Thailand for at least 6 months. I think that's what's required, so you can live in your home country for 6 months, then in the other one 6 months, right? Something like that.
Let's say generally, yeah, go on.
Yeah. So I think you can find a lot of people there. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
You're leaving so much money on the table because you can onboard 3 times as much, not 10 times as much, 5, 6, 7 more, like times as much clients as you're currently doing. So there's obviously money to make there. And then simultaneously, because you already have this nailed down, you could it's gonna be hard, like you need to speak to all the other consultants. If you know that you wanna help all the other people, so what am I trying to say is learn, become better. This is something we need to constantly do and keep improving to be able to help more people. So for example, I started out with just generating leads to local businesses, and then I started helping them with the sales, the booking appointments, and then I started helping them with the sales, and then I started helping them about pricing, whatever, because I kept improving, asking myself, how can I provide more value to these guys? So in your case, it's the same thing, but I didn't turn down my current clients who only wanted leads. Does that make any sense?
Makes sense.
So I guess the limiting belief that I had was I can't do both. Is that something that you have been thinking about? Like, I can either onboard more people, or I need to focus on learning the new systems in the countries?
I guess maybe on my side, now that you're like showing it to me in my face that I could be onboarding a lot more Thai clients, maybe I'm just being a bit lazy and waiting for the referrals rather than actually go and market to get more of these people.
All right, it's good to know, because now we can speak about the booking appointments. All right, let's go. Are you doing anything else except from 1 reel a day on IG?
No,
Instagram?
I want to start doing YouTube long form. I've spoken to a few people. They said even if maybe you get very few people, but they're usually more engaged and more ready to buy.
All right, sick. Are you willing to spend money on paid stuff?
I would say so, yes, if I had a framework. Again, I'd rather fix the fulfillment before starting to crank the wheel of the paid ads and marketing, but definitely yes.
Okay. Because right now with the marketing, the strategy would be always, the first thing is always the targeting. So who is it we're speaking to, who is it we're actually gonna target.
Yeah.
So if you're running paid ads, you could literally choose the location. And in this case, we would choose Thailand and, for example, UK. So only people in the UK and Thailand would be able to see the ads. So you would be able to onboard them to your Thai system. Does that make sense?
Yeah. They don't need to be from the UK, anywhere in Europe, just non-Americans. It's going to be legacy countries mostly. So, Europe, UK, Canada, and Australia and New Zealand.
Okay, sick. That's something you could split test with running the ads, like having different campaigns in different countries and see which one is actually generating the cheapest clients and just spend more on that one.
Yeah.
But you have to pick a country. You can't be like, if you live in Australia, UK, or yeah, it wouldn't hit as hard. So the targeting, I would tell you to do first just UK and Thailand.
Okay.
So if you do the ad in English, the ad is a creative, so a video, a picture, both, and then you have the copy. We will talk about the funnel too. You would do them both in English, so even if you're showing it to Thai people, you would speak English, and then you can choose English-speaking people only, so you wouldn't target Thai people. You're only spending your money on English-speaking people.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, you could do a lot with that. And I would do this on Facebook, Meta, so Instagram, mainly actually, in your case. Because your people, it's people like us, we're using Instagram daily. You could target Instagram and be like, do you live in Thailand, or are you planning to live in Thailand? That would be the hook.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the funnel. This is how I usually do it, because I don't like to build a business just to make money. I like to build a business that you can run forever, and especially because you told me you want as little input as possible from your side. So you want to be able to run a consistent business, not a business on how can I make 60K a month this month? Oh fuck, I start from zero next month. How do I take 60K a month? So what I'm trying to say is, if we build an audience organically and we make 20, 30K a month organically, imagine what you could do if you just pour money into that fire already.
Yeah,
so that's the theory. So how that works is, I would actually tell you to post on YouTube, long form, and the only thing you talk about, the only thing, nothing else, no motivational stuff. This is the biggest mistake people do. They start posting about, oh, this was my dream when I was a kid, or this is what this was me in university. But guess what? You're a tax consultant. I don't care about your dream. Like, tell me how I can pay 0% taxes, or else I won't listen. Like, if I watch one of your videos and you're telling me, about how to set up your taxes and stuff, and then I'm watching it, and then the next video would be on how to start an online business, or how to make 10K. I would just be, what's going on? Like, let's find a new tax guy instead. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I know it could be, so to frame it is, fuck, I'm getting too many. Okay, so quality is what I'm trying to say. Quality.
So when you say just focus on one thing, would you say just on YouTube or also on Instagram? Like, what do you think about posting lifestyle
Very good question, actually.
Instagram?
So we have traffic. This is for traffic, guys. We have paid. We have organic. There is no other way to generate traffic. You either pay for it or you work for it. And then we will have a VSL. Then we would have we could do we would collect the information and then book the call itself, and then sale. Very easy. This is the funnel. It doesn't matter if it's paid, you will still send people through the same funnel. So it's just where you're generating the traffic from.
Yeah.
And so let's start with the YouTube thing. This is quality over views.
Okay.
So you will get maybe 47 views on your videos. But if you have just 10 of them, of people like us making whatever, like 5-6 figures a month, online, traveling around the world, we're your clients. You could easily get us. I don't want to pay taxes. Could you clip that out? No, no, but seriously, like, if you could help me save, your average client is making 15K per month, right?
I would say about, yeah.
Yeah, 15 times 10, 150 plus 15, so $180,000 a month. How much would he save in taxes yearly on average as an average client?
From, let's say, 70K maybe.
70?
70.
17?
No, 70.
70 in taxes. That's how much they would save from just working with you per year.
Yes, if they're willing to.
And they're not even scaling. They're still making the same amount of money.
That's correct.
Okay, just of you telling me that, I would raise your price to 10K the first year, and I would potentially even increase it. So you could, I don't know if you've thought about this, you can go about this in 2 different ways. So you charge the setup fee for the work that you're actually doing that first month. So the setup fee alone is 5K, for example, and then I want X amount, like percentage of the taxes I'm saving you. Then it's just a no-brainer. Like, you save me 10K a month, oh, you get 3K, you know, or something. You could do it like that, or you just charge a higher yearly retainer, and then you can always renegotiate the terms every year. Does that make any sense?
It does. It does.
But the first year it would actually be 10K. So I don't know, I will put it here, so 10K. This is something you can do now, today. Your new price is 10K. Because if you tell me you can save me 70K, I only need to give you 10, so I'm saving 60 per year, and I'm not even scaling. And you can always like jump on the sales council, what's the plan for your business? I guess most people want to grow. They won't be like, yeah, I want to make less next month, that's the plan, right? So you can even like feed into their ego, like, oh, you're going to scale, so you're going to save even more money, which is hopefully true. Like, hopefully they will scale. Does that make any sense?
It does.
So this could be an internal thing. So what do you feel has been holding you back from charging 10K?
Probably the fact that it is somewhat commoditized, the service. Obviously, not the customer experience that's obviously personalized. And I know you don't want to position yourself as a commodity, but as at a premium. And I completely understand that. Is the fact that there are other people that can help you do that. And what I do is, it's not a coaching program or something that I'm putting a lot of input into, in the sense that, oh, you need to follow this, what I say. Like, yes, it is, but I'm opening the company. I'm taking your residency from one place to another, and that's something that is just steps, right?
Yeah,
there's no
can't
like
customize
there's
them.
no customization to it. It's just what happens when you do that. And obviously, I give away the solution. Like on the sales call, I tell them like, look, this is what we're going to do. Because a lot of people buy because of the knowledge. Like the sales, I don't know if you'll get to it, but the sales, it's like there's not a lot of hard closes. Like a lot of clients take maybe a couple weeks to buy, right? They jump on my sales call. They're like, okay, I want to do it. You've closed me. Maybe I don't have the money now, or I'm going to move in 2 weeks. And then in 2 weeks, we have a call. We set a follow-up call, a third call, because I have a 2-call close. The third call, then it's like, okay, fine, let's do it. Here's the money.
Okay. We will definitely talk about the sales then. I love that you said that, actually. So when it comes to having a
commoditized
service or product, the solution to that is framing plus niching down. So that's just a scenario. If you always market yourself to 5-figure entrepreneurs, or actually you could even say it like, if you're making 15K plus per month, then this is how you can pay 0% taxes legally by moving to Thailand, whatever. And then I would speak to you, all right? And then I would go speak to another consultant. He helps mega businesses cut their taxes. He helps like $1 million businesses cut their taxes. Who would I go to? He would probably charge me more, because he would be like, yeah, I work with these businesses. Then I would go to you, and you would maybe charge me less, but you know exactly my situation, because I'm making somewhere in between what you're talking about. Does that make any sense? I would trust you more, because I would feel like, oh, this is the guy for me. He only helps guys like me. So if I would be like, I help women lose weight, I would get more women than men, because women would be like, oh, he helps women, and I'm a woman, and I am 20 to 30, whatever. Does that make any sense? So to the people you're speaking to, so there are probably, as you said, like other people who can do the same thing as you do, but then maybe they're doing it to other people. So they would be like, wait, why do you charge 10K? The other guy only charges 5. Oh, okay, it's fine. I only help guys like this. I know, I've done it 37 times, and this is why I charge the price that I do. I wouldn't actually say it in the call, but this is the mindset. We will talk about sales, but that is the mindset that we have, And then when you market yourself to these exact people, it will also be like, I would be drawn to you, and not to the mega consultant who helps like mega businesses with hundreds of thousands of employees or whatever, because like he does something else. This is what I would think automatically. Like I wouldn't think about it, but my brain would just tell me to book a call with you, because I feel like you're speaking to me.
Okay.
So that makes you less what am I having trouble with this word? Yeah, I think you know what I mean. Commodity. Yeah.
Commoditized.
Commoditized. There you go. Yeah. So by niching down and how you package your offer, you could also just name it something differently. So you could just name it as your new unique thing. Like this is, how did you come up with this? How did you start?
Well,
Why do you know this?
I solved my own problem. You know, I was moving to Thailand, and I was like, you know, what's the best way? Like, what's the best way to set up? What's the best company to have? How do you get out of your old tax system and start paying taxes somewhere else?
Why were you even having these thoughts?
Well, because I moved to Thailand and I had my own business. Obviously, I studied accounting and finance, so I was already running my own business, but obviously making very little money. And I just started, you know, when you start out, you kind of try and help everyone, you know, beg, borrow, and steal. So I was doing some accounting for UK companies, but then I was like, wait, I have this problem now. Probably other people like me are going to have this problem. You know, maybe a lot of people don't know they have the problem. A lot of my marketing is teaching as well. It's making them aware of the problem. So that's how I kind of came up with the idea.
That's what makes you different. This is your story. This is how you came up with the idea, and people will see that in your marketing, in your YouTube videos, in your reels. They will be like, oh, I feel a connection with this guy, and therefore they would book a call with you, and then they would like automatically prefer your thing over someone else's, even if they would charge him like 4K less. But no, like, this is my taxes, I trust this guy. We have the same situation, it's more relatable. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
So you play more on your story, like, I moved to Thailand, I wanted to know about the legal ways on how to set it up in a more financially beneficial way. And this is what I did, I came up with it. And you can even name it something, like whatever, actually. You could just come up with it. It still has to be relevant. So like my three freedom tax system, whatever, like, you know?
yeah, I got it.
And then it will sound unique, because it is. This is your story. No one can replicate your story to 100%.
Yeah.
It's your story, it's your voice, you market it,
Yeah.
you can set your own price, and then we can also talk about how you do it on the sales. But let's book some appointments first, and then we can do sales.
Okay.
All right, so we had to do this first, the fulfillment. Let's focus on Thai people simultaneously, you will learn. We will book some calls now and do some sales, and your new price is 10K. Okay, so quality over views, get less views, it's fine. You will have just more focused people. So your headlines will be like, are you a digital nomad making 15K per month? Like, how Piero, my client, saved 70K per year in taxes by moving to Thailand.
Yeah.
You know, or how this closer moved to Vietnam and cut his tax bill in half. How this agency owner, blah blah blah. And then if I'm an agency owner, I will watch that video. If I'm a closer, I'll watch this video. And this is the people that you're talking to. That's the only people you're talking to. That's the only thing you'll talk about in your YouTube videos. And then I think you mentioned why YouTube, right?
Well, if I can, so you said to niche down on the YouTube. I'm saying Instagram as well. Should it still be niche down? Should I give some, personal touch to what I'm doing in my day-to-day life, or would you still keep it, talk about tax?
Yeah, really good questions. What I would personally do is I would focus on YouTube. You do YouTube preferably daily to start with, just to get the momentum. Post your couple of videos, you'll get your routine, you'll find your voice, you'll know where to place your camera, everything, all of that. And then you can focus more on making sure that every video is like fire and you're not just posting just to post.
Yeah.
All right. But like the first 2 weeks, you can literally just post daily, because then you will do more reps, you will get better at it. So you're like already after 2 weeks, you will be better than 90% of YouTubers. Like in posting, your content will become so much better because you have more reps.
Okay.
And why you would focus more on YouTube? This would be your priority. You wake up, just like wash your face, don't even brush your teeth, just make sure to do the YouTube video.
Okay.
Because then you can send it to your editor and be like, I have so much clips in here. Like, just watch my 15, 25, 30-minute YouTube video and cut out like 5, 60, 90-second clips of it. And guess what? Because you have been posting daily, you'll have so many reels. You can post 3 times a day on Instagram. And then also because of the targeting, we want to know like where are they spending time? Where are they? Yeah, exactly. Where is the customer spending his time. And it is actually Instagram, maybe LinkedIn.
Possibly. Do you have LinkedIn? Do you have LinkedIn?
Yeah, that's why I said like maybe LinkedIn. I know some. Actually, let's just focus on YouTube and Instagram. All right. So you take the clips from the YouTube, you cut it down to Reels, and post it on Instagram. And then when it comes to the personal touch, that's where your story comes in. So like story on IG, you can post of you having a meal, like it's fine. But your Reels are only talking about taxes, nothing else. If anyone is following you, it's because you're the tax guy. You're the guy who moved to Thailand, came up with the 3 tax 0% system, and now you're helping others do the same. You're that guy. I don't care about your fitness routine. I don't care about your childhood. I don't care about anything else. You help me with taxes. That's why I'm following you.
Got it. Story for personal touch, and then Reels in long form just for taxes.
Exactly. All right. So you send people to a VSL. Do you know what a VSL is? Oh yeah, you told me you have one already.
Yes.
Could you tell me a little bit more about your VSL? I haven't watched it. So how long is it? What are you talking about in it?
It's about 6 minutes, 7 minutes, and I talk exactly about this this 3-step process that you need to do. So you need to get out of your home country, set up a company offshore, and get into a new country for tax purposes. You know, change your residency and all this stuff. So it's like, if you're watching this, you know, chances are you're like making money online, living the dream, you know, of a digital nomad in Southeast Asia. What if I told you, you know, you're leaving a lot of money on the table by doing this, this, and that? And then there's like these 3 problems: problem 1, problem 2, problem 3, and this is, you know, what you do. So then you have link, obviously, to book a call, qualifying questions like how much do you make, are you ready to invest, like all this stuff. So like, I don't know, in the theory, I personally quite like the VSL, but obviously...
Do they opt in for the VSL?
No.
It's just free to watch?
Yes.
Okay.
Would you change that?
Yes. Because we want to own the traffic.
Okay.
The traffic you're generating from organic right now, it's still owned by the platform. Mm-hmm. You're never owning anything. So like you have no email list. Do you have an email list?
No.
No, you have no email list. You have no gathered contact details.
Well, no,
except from the people who have booked a call.
That's correct.
They're either disqualified or they're bought, right? Something like that, probably. So what I'm trying to say is, we want to own the traffic. That's how we can build a business that can generate us money reoccurring every single month without us being stressed. So imagine just this. You keep gathering, like you keep growing your list of contact details of qualified people watching your VSL. Even if you don't change the VSL in itself, we can talk about conversion on this thing. But if you build the list, you grow your list with 1 person a day, 2 people a day, 3 people a day, and while you're growing on the platforms, on YouTube, Instagram, you'll have more people opting in. So you'll have like 10 new people opting in a day. Even if only 1 is booking the call, it's fine. But still, you will have at the end of the year maybe 1,000 people who have been opting in for your stuff. That's 1,000 people who are potentially interested in to buy your 10K offer today or maybe 6 months from now. Yeah. And that you can use to nurture them through emails. You could keep, like, if you post a new YouTube video, you can send it to your email list. You could literally have an appointment, set a call everyone who opts in. You could send them text messages like, I just posted this amazing YouTube video and you have to watch it. It explains exactly everything you need to know about taxes and how to move to Thailand and la 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 la. You know? So if you just imagine that 6 months from now, 12 months from now, you have 1,000 people to just in your phone to DM, to call or email. Would you make more or less money? More. It's just logical. This is something that actually I had this same conversation with another guy, a fitness coach. He did the same. He's making 15, 20K a month, but he's never owned his traffic. So he's just telling people to book a call with him. So this would act as your lead magnet. So how I would frame it is, how are you framing it right now? So like, why would they even watch it?
That's a good question. Save money on taxes.
Okay, sick. Okay. This is something that I would potentially opt in for if you told me this is how much you could save in taxes. And I would be like, I will spend for 7 minutes to know how much I can save.
Yeah.
And then you also need to tell me how much I can save. So you could maybe give an example. If you live in the UK or if you live in Europe and you're paying 40-50% taxes, you're making this much, la 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 la, you could pay this instead. So automatically you're saving this gap. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm opting in for like a calculation, but at the same time you're selling me on the steps. So you give me the calculation, this is actually it. Let's do this with a new color instead. If you do this in the VSL, you tell me about the vehicle. I don't know how to spell vehicle. Let's write the car instead. Don't laugh. Do you know how to spell vehicle?
Wait, let me go back.
I
don't know how to spell vehicle.
No, this is the car, so the vehicle. The first thing you tell us about is how you discovered this vehicle. Like how did
saying I went to Thailand.
Exactly.
And I didn't know how to. Okay.
Don't tell me about your parents and stuff. I just want to know how you discovered this vehicle. Alright, no childhood stuff. Just like 5 minutes on how you discovered this.
Yeah.
And then what is the vehicle in itself? Okay. So the vehicle is these steps. Boom, 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 boom. Don't teach me the steps yet. Just mention them. And then the second thing would be you saying why. Like, give me the ROI calculation thing. So this is how much you could save. How much? Yeah, how dollars. This was it. And then you teach me the steps and be like, this is the easiest thing ever and it's so legal. Like, you're not doing anything illegal. Just explain it as if you're speaking to a 15-year-old. No advanced words, nothing, okay? So they need to feel like, oh, it's so easy to do this. I don't know why I'm not doing it yet. Am I dumb? And then you would be like, no, you're not dumb. It's not your fault. Like, you've just not known about this, and it is so easy, and it is legal. The only thing you need to do now is book a call with me. Okay?
Got it. Yeah.
Because I learned this from Russell Brunson's guys. The 3 things that needs to happen for you to actually buy or book a call is you need to believe in the vehicle. You need to believe in yourself, like, oh, okay, so the vehicle is amazing and I can actually drive it. This is why you're telling me about how much I can save. I can see it in front of me driving it. And this is why it's so easy. So you cut out all external beliefs that I'm blaming right now. So, oh yeah, it works in the UK, but not in Sweden. You know? And now you need to break these beliefs. Like, it's so easy if you live in Europe, if you live in this country. And here are some examples of Leonardo, Martin, and John that did the same. They saved 70K, 150K on taxes, and you can do the same.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
It does. They need to believe in these 3 things. Fine.
Exactly. And then they will literally feel stupid for not booking a call with you. And even if not, now you have collected their info, so you have something here like hidden behind this secret wall on how to pay 0% taxes. This is what you're framing the lead magnet as, which is a VSL. Yeah, so you're owning the traffic, and then the first 5 days you could have like first 5 days you could send an email each day of like a case study, the best YouTube video you have, and then just keep nurturing them. Then you have more people booking calls with you, and then you just have access to these emails to constantly email them whenever you want. Just like send out a bulk email to these people. Do you feel like this would help you book more calls? So if you generate the traffic organically from YouTube, what is going on? YouTube and IG, actually. IG is like free because you're already doing it from YouTube and you have the guy posting it on IG for you.
Hide the VSL behind
so
the
opt-in. And then you have like emails, so we can do this, emails plus texts.
So basically we're missing this and then this.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
All right, then you will have booked calls. Sick, right? And now let's talk about sales.
Okay.
Do you feel like it's digestible, or
Yes, this all makes sense, and it was very helpful, so thank you so much.
Right.
Sales process. Maybe let me walk you through my sales process.
Exactly. What are you
so I have
doing?
a 2-call close. The first call is to make sure I can actually help them, because a lot of people have different situations. So right now, maybe you kind of fixed it with saying, let's just fulfill Thai people, because when I come in, like some people are like, yeah, I'm in Thailand, but I want to live in Bali, right? Are you able to help with Bali? Or, hey, I'm thinking about setting up in, I don't know, like I live in Thailand, but I want to set up in Dubai, for example. I guess that you'd do it with the VSL. You'd like pre-qualify with the VSL. But like a lot of times, I get people saying, that they don't actually want to spend this much time in Thailand, and it's like it's a bit complicated, because yes, if you spend 6 months a year in Thailand, like do I have to spend 6 months a year in Thailand? Like ideally, yes. If you don't, you just have to get the visa to be able to work and rent an apartment, right, for quite a bit of time. So then, you have an apartment for 12 months. You've got a visa that allows you to work there.
So you need some things to be in place for you to be actually able to help them.
The first call is the kind, okay,
so it's like an intro call. How long is it? 15 minutes?
Yeah, 15 minutes.
15 minutes, okay. And then you're like, either I can help you or not, and then you book the second call.
Exactly.
Okay, do you have any numbers about how many book the intro call, and then they are qualified? Are all the qualified people booking the other call? Do you have that number?
Yes.
All right. And are they showing up to it?
On the call, yes.
They're showing up?
Yes, because it's like within maybe 2 days, 1 day, 2 days. So.
Okay, sick. So that's good that it's not taking too long between the calls. And then what's your close rate on the second call?
Close rate on the second call,
I guess it's high.
It is quite high, but as I said before, I don't have clear data, because some closes that I'd say a no, like that you would normally classify as a no, like, oh, let me go and make the money to do it, or like let me wait till I go to Australia, actually do become yeses. So I would say,
it's just no for now, and then they pay later.
Yeah, so it's like I won't be able to give you like a proper number, but I would say at the very least 50%.
All right, okay. 50%. It will be lower if you have less warm people. The thing is, if they have went through your YouTube, they watched the VSL, then booked the call, they will still be warm.
Yeah.
But still, nothing is as warm as referrals. Nothing,
of course.
Because they trust you already without even seeing your face.
It's higher than 50, sure.
So the call is always about this. So intro plus frame. This is the sales process that makes everyone a lot of money. You have current, situation, desired, sit, you have why not there.
Is this in the first call, are you saying, or just in general in the sales framework? Or is this what I should be doing in my first sales call?
I'm thinking we should do one call. So if he is qualified, why can't you just proceed with the call? Does that make sense?
Right.
If he is qualified, why jump off the call? Is there any reason for it, like technical reasons that I don't know about?
Because sometimes, so I'll tell you this, and maybe this, after this call I won't be taking on people like this, but these people are moving to Indonesia. They have businesses on their own, and then they have an e-commerce business, right, as well, together, right?
All right.
E-commerce business, I don't like that 3 framework step, right? Is now changed on the company, which instead of setting up a US company, it's now a Hong Kong company, right? And now instead of it costing me like $500 to fulfill, it's now like $2,000 to fulfill, right? So then I have to raise the price a little more. It's like, it's always these, and maybe you're just telling me like, let's niche down, let's only help like entrepreneurs from Europe that move to Thailand with service-based businesses. Maybe that's all we do. We stay away from e-commerce. Like that's something like I can definitely do, but they bring money. I had a 10K sale like from them. It was like 2 business partners, and we kind of made like a deal
Okay.
to get there.
So you're telling me if it is a e-com guy, then you would have to jump off the call and like make its own offer?
The thing is, it was a first for me, so maybe I do build the framework for
Okay.
what to do if it is an e-com guy, right? So then it always goes back to like the fulfillment again, where I'm like, maybe I need to nail down what do I do if this person has this situation, what do I do if he has this situation, and then once everything is clear, then we can transition to a one call close.
Would it be a good summary if you would just say be more prepared before the sales call? Would it be fair to say that if you would be like, okay, it might be a e-com guy, and then I would present him this offer. If it is a service-based business, I would present him this other offer.
And maybe it's that simple. And then I just ask, maybe I can just even ask him on message, like before he jumps on the call. Hey, what's...
Yeah, you could probably add it in the booking page. Exactly. Then you could prepare it because it would be so much easier.
But like when it comes to e-commerce, then it's like where do you sell into, and then you do need to do little things. But I guess that doesn't matter. You can just sell them anyways, and then do whatever they need to be done.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of times, even if they don't know everything, it's just not as important as long as you can, you can take care of them.
Worst case scenario, you piff them or they piff you, and then you're like, oh shit, this was too much. You know what? Here's your money. Sorry, G, I couldn't help you out.
Yeah.
That's the worst case scenario of you making more money, you know? So actually, I would say just do one call. The reason is, I guess the second call is just you like, yeah, all right, so this is the solution I have for you, and then you pitch your solution. That's so boring.
I know, and I'm trying to fit in like this in the second call as well, because like, it doesn't really make sense to build all this, this gap between current design problem, like when they're actually going to jump off and go on the next one.
Exactly, so and then they forget about it.
So I do try and build something. I'm like, I've done the calculations, I've estimated that you can save about this amount of money. What would you do with this amount of money? Oh, I do this, and that. Why would you do it? What happens if you don't?
Oh, great. Fuck, yeah, that's amazing.
And then we jump into the pitch, right? But it feels a bit forced.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's like you're asking, like, what would you do with this money? You can save this, what would you do with it? I was like, and maybe the guy's like, oh, I've never paid any taxes, It's like, where's this money? This is my money anyways, but yeah, anyways.
Okay. I would turn it into a one call close. I've tried both. Me personally, I prefer one calls.
Okay.
Even if it's gonna take like 45-60 minutes. This is how I would frame it. So, what's up, Leo? Today we have this call for you to be for me to be able to see how much taxes we could save you. In the first 15 minutes, if I see and I notice I won't be able to help you, we'll just end the call there if that's fair. Does that sound fair to you? Yes, it does. All right, let's jump straight into this. And now you have framed yourself as the expert. I'm here to help you. You're here to get my help. And I will let you know between the first 15 minutes if this is something for you. If not, I'll just let you know and you can jump off the call. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And
then if there is, we can see how we could like sort you out. Does that make sense? Yes. No, we'll be like, no, never happened.
No.
And then you would talk about their current situation. So you would have to ask your logical questions that you need answered. So like, where do you live? What do you sell? La 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 la. But also like current situation. The thing is, you're not selling taxes. What you're actually selling is the freedom,
peace of mind,
the peace of mind, all the money you're saving, and the money you're saving is gonna be able for you to give it to your mom or travel or whatever. So in the end, it's not about the taxes. So that's why we wanna get into it. So how much are you making right now? What's your expenses? What's your plans with the business? As if you're about to sell him like a marketing thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. You're selling the same outcome. You're gonna make more money. You're gonna save more money. That's the thing. And this is the hardest thing. I don't know, Lee, you have to let me know. Are you doing this right now? Why haven't you sorted your taxes out yet? Is this something you're asking right now?
No.
No, okay. This will be huge. This is a metaphor, I don't know where I heard it from, one of my sales coaches that I've had in the past. You never ask a woman to marry you if you don't know she will say yes. And what I'm trying to say is, this is how you do this in sales. You ask them why they haven't done it yet. This will tell you if they will say yes or no at the end. And then if they're still blaming stuff, you don't even go into the pitch because they will say no either way. So for example, why haven't you done it yet? I have been scared. For me, for example, it was like, I thought it was wiffly waffly things like, no, you can't actually do it. And if you're then pitching me about your solution, I will still be like, yeah, I need to think about it.
Yeah.
Because I have a limiting belief telling me that this is maybe not even legal. You know? So if you never ask this question, I would never tell you that. And then you would never even get the chance to break my belief and help me make the better decision.
Why have you not sorted out your taxes? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so you're making 15K per month right now. Yes, you're planning on like traveling, you want to make more, you want to retire your parents because this has always been your dream, and paying less in taxes would actually help you with that. Okay, makes sense, I get it, you know, all of these things. So what have you tried now to actually make that happen? Well, I've like basically nothing. You're the first guy I've spoken to. Okay, how come? What's been actually holding you back from making this happen earlier? Actually, I thought it was illegal, or I didn't, like, I thought it was too complicated. Oh, how do you mean too complicated? And then you probe him, like you'd ask more, understand why he's thinking that way. Why is he still paying taxes? Or why isn't he taking care of it right now? And then you help him break this belief by telling him the truth. So he will have a limiting belief, which is something isn't true, and you are as the expert making him believe in the right thing.
What if he's like, I wasn't making enough money before, and now it's the time to sort it out, or something like that.
Okay, he's not making enough.
I wasn't making enough money. I haven't sorted it out yet because I wasn't making enough.
Was he still paying taxes?
Probably maybe not enough. I don't know. Or maybe like a lot of these people are just ignoring taxes in the beginning. So like, it's easy to sell a person like.
Just ask him why now then.
Why now?
Yeah. So okay, you didn't do it in the past. You weren't making enough. You were barely paying taxes. Makes sense. But why now?
Okay.
Oh, now I'm making money. I don't want to pay 70K at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Why not? Everyone pays taxes in your country. Why do you want to be a special snowflake? Don't say it with this tone. And then he will be like, no, I want the freedom, la 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 la. There you go.
Okay.
Now you can proceed. You can future pace him. So like, what would you do with this money? And then you could consequence.
What happens if you don't?
Yeah, because actually, let's look at the facts. Most people pay taxes, and they keep ignoring it. They end up doing tax frauds, whatever. Just mention the things that are actually happening, the people you're jumping on calls with.
Yeah.
So, like, if we just don't do anything about your taxes, what would happen at the end of the year? Oh, I would have to pay this much. Is that something you're willing to do? No. Why not? You know? And then you're like, okay, I can help you out. Do you want to hear my solution? You pitch him, and then he will give you 10K on the call. Woohoo! Money!
And how detailed is the pitch? Because I know that you said
5 minutes.
Yeah, so like very little. You kind of want to keep it brief. But I've seen that I've sold a lot, and maybe this changes once we hop on the YouTube. But people buy from me because like they learn from me. They're like, yes, I understand. This is what we're gonna do. Fine. Like if I keep the pitch short, maybe they don't feel comfortable, and I guess maybe they'll express it afterwards. But I've seen, like just in my own experience, that a longer pitch and explaining like, oh, what this tax is, this is a
really good question.
We need to get this tax
actually
to zero, this tax to zero. This is how we do it.
You teach them the what, but not the how. If you teach them the how, bro, you will have to be like speaking to them for hours of how you're doing it. So I'm calling this guy, and then I'm emailing this guy, and opening up your bank account and this thing, and then I'm jumping on a call with this lawyer or whatever. But you just tell them the what. So these are the exact steps that I'm like, this is step number 1. You can even name all of them. You could name like 17 steps, and then at the end of it be like, but I'm gonna do this for you. You don't have to think about it. And then he'll be like, oh, thank God. You know? And then you have told him exactly what you're gonna do, but not the actual details about it. The consequence of that is you confusing him. So him being like he's starting to come up with objections instead. like he's being confused. So if you imagine this, if you're selling fitness, and I'm like, so on Tuesdays you're gonna eat salmon, 2 cucumbers, 35 grams of beans,
Oh, but I don't like
and then on Wednesdays you're gonna eat. And at the end of the pitch, I've pitched you all of the meals every single day, and he will, nah, you know, I'm good, G.
I understand that, and yeah, maybe this is a limiting belief that I have, that I can't do that with taxes, because it's like, maybe it genuinely is, because if I'm selling I was talking to a couple guys doing fitness, and I told them the exact same thing you said about the pitch, like keep it 2 minutes, right? You need fitness, nutrition, accountability, blah blah, and like this is like super quick, but like with me, what I'm thinking about the tax space, and like call me out on my bullshit, you know, if you're like, no, this is like you're just waffling, is that if they see exactly and they understand how we're paying 0% tax, then they actually realize like this solves the, oh, is this legal? Because they're like, see, I'll show them like this is what we're doing. Like,
do you show, like, do you present your screen and stuff?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
which is,
okay.
I don't like it in a pitch, but I've seen that it works. Like, they're like, does this make sense? Yes. Does it make sense? Yes. It's like, okay, now I understand why I can pay 0% tax. Fine. Right? So it's like not the normal way of doing it. You know, maybe I will pitch you. I will pitch you my offer, and then we can talk to. You can give me your feedback on that. But no, well, definitely something we can test with the.
Yeah, usually I wouldn't do like a presentation and stuff, because you're taking them out of the emotional decisions, which is everything sales is. But if you're already telling me you're doing it and it's working good for you, then I don't want to ruin something that's already working.
Right, of course.
If that makes sense. So how long is your sales pitch right now? Is it like 30 minutes or
No,
10?
it'd be like 10 maybe.
Alright.
10, yeah, 10. Let's do 10.
10 could be fine, yeah, it's fine. I know some people pitch for 15 minutes and still make a lot of money, depending on how complex your thing is. But yeah, 10 could be fine. And if it's already working, then do the same pitch. But after you have asked why.
Yeah.
Because in this case, I feel like you're doing everything already without asking why.
Yeah.
Right? So
Why
just
do
ask
it now?
why now, or why haven't you done it in the past? Depending on what they told you before. That's it. That's how you're gonna make more money.
Fulfillment, Thai people, raise our price from 5 to 10K, hop on the YouTube and opt in to the VSL and ask how on the sales pitch, move it from 1 to 2 call close.
Exactly. And once you have this dialed in, you just give money to Facebook and be like, you see these people? I want similar. Please show my ads to these similar people, and then send them to the same VSL that's already working, book the calls that's already working. You already have the funnel working, you just give money to show it to more people.
Okay, so just finally, we do not help people who don't want to be in Thai.
Right now, no, until we have figured this out.
Got it. Okay. Thank you so much.
Let's go.
Appreciate it.
Thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one.
Where can people find 0% tax?
Where can people find 0% tax?
Look for me on Instagram, Leonardo_Vincenti, editor. Put it here, please.
All right, thank you guys for watching.